Starting a nation can be extremely hard, especially if you're starting from scratch. Today, I'm going to teach you the steps that you must take in order to start a nation from absolutely nothing. This isn't a super detailed guide, this is just highlighting the steps that you need to take to ensure that you're going in the right direction and not making an extremely crucial mistake. But without further ado, let's get into the first steps on starting your brand new nation from scratch. But before even starting your nation, there's a few things that you will need. Some of these examples include games to rally in, uniforms, and high command. Now, getting on topic, I'm going to delve into how you should structure your nation. Well, for starters, you have to have ranks that reflect your nation. For example, ranks in a Napoleonic nation could be medal-based. Meanwhile, ranks in a more modern group can be based off of the events that you attend. Just an example, my World War I group has numerous different ways ranks are categorized. For example, staff ranks are categorized based off their achievements, meanwhile ranker ranks are categorized based off of the medals that they earn. Organization isn't only about ranks, it's also about regiments. I see a lot of people do this completely wrong because they make a regimental structure where lower ranking officers and NCOs can't do anything for the group, making them go inactive and thus hurting your nation. Thus, I'm going to recommend you my system for regimental organization. First, you have a regimental commanding officer and a regimental executive officer. Then below them, you have officers and NCOs in two different companies. Because the companies are smaller, these officers and NCOs actually have a reason to stay active and recruit, alongside the regimental staff like the commanding officer and executive officer, making it perfect for keeping both officer, NCO, and ranker attendance at its highest. Of course, organization is a major part of building a new group. However, it isn't the only major part. Another big part in creating a group from scratch is simply how you present your group to others. Instead of goofing off during battles, you can have your men disciplined, and that can cause other people to think, wow, this group looks cool, maybe I should join it. A big part of that is making a group image and culture for your nation. For example, my nation really focused on PvP and combat, and displays professionalism in that. On that topic, this group image is also extremely important to advertisement. By applying your group's culture and standards into these advertisements, vignettes, and propagandas, other users may be encouraged to join your group, propelling it out of obscurity and into a world of fame. Although these past tips and, recommendations are extremely useful for getting your group large from absolutely nothing, there is one recommendation I make that you absolutely must do in order to make sure your group is successful. If you do not follow this recommendation, these other tips and things to help your group will be not worth it. This tip that I recommend you is ranker retention. Without keeping your rankers engaged in your events, they will eventually leave, and all your progress going into your group will be ultimately for nothing. As a longtime nation leader, I have experienced this, and I really don't want you to experience what I experienced. Instead of doing boring trainings where you do jumping jacks and hell jacks, maybe instead you can do one-on-one PvP sessions that really get your rankers to want to attend again. By keeping ranker retention, all the previous tips that I gave you will be absolutely amplified and quickly rise your group to the very top. Unfortunately, that is it for the video, as the video is getting quite long for my standards. If you wish to see some of the other things I do before I release the actual video, take notes from the nation I own called Imperium Fjordens, link in the description. Again, I thank you for watching, please give a like and maybe you could subscribe. With that all said and done, I wish you well. Goodbye.